Guess who cut their hair on Friday because they were having a midlife crisis? It's me. I cut my hair. Hello everybody, welcome back to Making It Up and welcome to part 2 of my eyeshadow declutter. I filmed part 1 a few weeks ago, so make sure to check that one out before this one. I'll leave it down below, but I decluttered all my single shadows in that video, and today we are tackling eyeshadow palettes, and I'm scared. Eyeshadow palettes are everything to me. They're one of my favorite things to buy and collect. I just love them so much. There was a time in my life where I was very into eyeshadow. I have neutral palettes, I have colorful palettes, I have drugstore, high-end, I have quads, I have a little bit of everything. I even have some relics in here, like from way back in my collection. So even though I'm scared, I'm excited to show you guys an overview of my palette collection and also see how I do. Hopefully I do good. I really want to do good because I have a lot of palettes that are taking up space in my collection. So the video is going to be super long. So grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and let's get to decluttering. Okay, so let's start off with my quads and my small palettes. Starting out with the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette. I really like this. Mostly for travel. I love the colors. You guys know I love warm tones. I don't use this as much as I should, but I really like it for travel. Since I haven't been able to travel that much, I haven't used it a lot, but I really want to hold on to this. So this is staying. Up next, I have this super old Kat Von D. I don't even know what the name of this is. The Romance Eyeshadow. This is in Dreamer. This was super popular years ago online. The shadows were great as well. Like, they were super buttery, super nice and pigmented, but this is too old. This is very old. Shouldn't be putting it on my eyes anymore. Needs to leave the collection. Not worth keeping. Then I have this super rad palette from Kiko Milano. This is the Active Fluo Eyeshadow Palette. It's a very neon and it has just beautiful colors inside of it. Even though this has been discontinued and it's pretty old, I love the colors in here. I use them a lot, especially now that it's nearing summer. I really like this palette a lot, so I'm keeping it because I love to use it still. Then I have this extremely entirely old MAC 6 Views Play It Cool eyeshadow palette. This was a collection like 1,000 years ago. It was my mom's. These are not colors that I use at all, and it's also very old, so this is leaving the collection. And then I have my Rowan 75 Degree eyeshadow palette. I freaking love this. I'm not getting rid of it. It's so unique. It's so beautiful. I love the warm colors. I am obsessed with this, and it's not going anywhere. Next, I have the Meet Matte eyeshadow palette from the Balm. I think they've discontinued this one. I love the concept. Like, it's such a cute concept, but I just never reach for this, never use this. The colors are like meh. And it doesn't excite me, so I'm getting rid of it because I literally never use it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Matt. Then I have my Rare Beauty Confident Energy palette. This is very new, so I'm not getting rid of it because it's new. I love the colors, especially this green. You guys know I'm obsessed with green, so I am definitely keeping this. It's affordable. Love it, love it, love it. Not getting rid of it. And the packaging is insane. Then I have another MAC eyeshadow palette. This is a MAC Pastel x 9 eyeshadow palette. I really like this one a lot. I love the colors. They're perfect for spring and summer, but honestly, like, I don't reach for this nearly enough, and the pigmentation is just not there. I don't know what to do because I like this, but I don't know if it's worth keeping. I think I'm getting rid of this. Wow. I didn't think I was gonna get rid of this, but I think I am because even though the colors are nice, I'm already keeping some other colors that perform better, so this one is leaving the collection. Next, I have this super old bareMinerals duo. This is the Top Shelf duo. I don't think they even make these anymore. I bought this when I was just starting out with makeup and I just needed, you know, like basic eyeshadows. They were really nice eyeshadows, don't get me wrong. Like, the colors are nice, they performed very well, they were very pigmented, but I don't use them. I don't reach for them at all. The packaging needs to be thrown out because it's super disgusting, and these are like almost 10 years old, so I shouldn't be holding on to them. They're leaving. And then I have a few MAC quads. This is in Casca Beige number 18. My mom gave me this as well. It's pretty, but Chanel eyeshadows are not great. They're just meh. Like, where's the pigment? I never reach for these, and I think they could go to someone who appreciates them more, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Same goes for this one. This is in 81, and it's just colors. I don't really reach for this ever, so getting rid of this one as well. Last but not least, I have the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. This is in warm neutrals. A very, very nice palette, I will say. Shadows are good quality. They're not the best, but if you're a beginner, I think this would be a great palette. I like the colors. I just never reach for this ever, and I'm sure one of my friends is gonna love this, so I'm gonna give it to her, and I'm gonna get rid of it for my collection. Okay, so these are all the tiny palettes, quads, that I'm getting rid of, and I'm happy. I'm getting rid of more than I'm keeping, so I think that's good progress. So let's move on to our neutral palettes. Okay, so these are all of my neutral palettes stacked because I have entirely way too many. So let's just get right into them. Okay, let's start because if not, we're gonna be here forever. The first one I see here is a Too Faced Natural Matte Eyeshadow Palette. They've since changed the packaging on this, I think, but this is just full of neutral shadows. I actually really enjoy this and I still reach for it quite a bit. So I think I'm keeping this one. Okay, more Too Faced. This is the Sweet Peach palette. If you guys have been here for long, you know that I struggled so much to get this palette and I was dying to get it, and I did everything I could to get it until I finally did. I never used this, but I don't want to get rid of it. Something about like the nostalgia of it, it's special to me. I love the way it smells. I like the shadows. Like some of these shadows aren't great, but some of them are amazing. And I don't want to get rid of them. And I don't know why I do this to myself because I clearly have way too many palettes, but I think I'm keeping this one, okay? I'm sorry. Now I have a throwback. This is the Sleek Eye Divine palette in Oh So Special. These are so popular years ago on YouTube. I think Sleek is a British brand, and I bought these when I went to England. But these are great shadows, but I don't love this. I don't love what I'm seeing here, and this is very, 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 very old, so it needs to go. Okay, here I have my Dose of Colors Baked Browns. I love this so freaking much. These are just staple shades. They're so good, so buttery, so high quality. Also love to use this whenever I'm traveling because it's so small and compact, and you can do so much with these shadows, so I'm definitely keeping this one. It's super good. And then I have yet another throwback. How many throwbacks will there be in this video? A million. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Resi palette. It's a pretty palette. Like, I loved it a lot. I used it quite a bit, but I haven't reached for this in literal years, so I'm sorry, it's gonna have to go. Next, I have the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, and I, similar to the mini one, love this so freaking much. The colors, I love warm tones, so this is just speaking my language. I love this. I don't reach for it nearly enough. I need to reach for it more. Should I probably get rid of it? Yeah, because I don't really reach for it, but I'm not going to because I love it. And these palettes are expensive, and I am really bad at decluttering, but this is staying. Up next, I have another Too Faced palette. This is a Just Peachy Mattes palette, and I also don't reach for this all the time, but I cannot bring myself to part ways with it because I have actually used a few of the lighter shades recently. I don't use it nearly enough to justify keeping it, but guess who's gonna keep it? Yes, I'm keeping it because the formula is good, it smells really nice. This one has to stay, okay? I'm sorry, it has to stay. Another one that is obviously staying is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is pretty old, but I've used this so much. I love it. This is an amazing palette. I love Anastasia shadows. I don't reach for this all the time anymore, but I could not bear to let it go. This one's also staying in my collection. Up next, I have this huge Morphe palette, another insane throwback. This is, I forget the name of this. This is a Morphe 350 palette. The internet was raving about this for ages years ago on YouTube, and I went to the first ever Morphe store in California and I bought this, and I was obsessed with it. I used it all the time and I loved it, but I haven't reached for this in years, so I think I need to get rid of this because it's a little too old now and I just don't reach for the colors, so I'm gonna have to part ways with this friend. Another Too Faced product. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. One of the first palettes I ever loved. Amazing colors, perfect for literally everyone. Cool tones, warm tones, everything in between. I love it a lot, smells great, and they have freaking discontinued this palette, and I will never forgive Too Faced for doing that because now I have to keep this because I'm never never gonna be able to buy it anymore. And even though it's freaking old, it's the love of my life. And as we've all come to know, I am obsessed with palettes and hoarding them. So this one's staying. Like, how could I ever get rid of this? More throwbacks. This is the Kat Von D Metamorphosis palette, I think it was the name of this. This is the first eyeshadow palette I ever fell in love with. Insane palette, beautiful, like, the eyeshadows are just so buttery. Haven't reached for this in literal years, but am I gonna get rid of it? No, I'm not, because again, this has been discontinued. I cannot bring myself to part ways with this. It's kind of nostalgic for me, you know? It's kind of what made me get into makeup more. This baby, staying with me. Up next, I have another The Balm palette. This is the Balm Jovi Rockstar palette, and I loved this so much. It has eyeshadows, blush, highlighter, and it even has like lipsticks, but I just loved this so much. The blush was beautiful, the highlighter was beautiful, the colors in here were beautiful, and I haven't reached for this in years, and I need to get rid of it, okay? Pains me to do this, but it's for the best. Up next, I have the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation Eyeshadow Palette. Never getting rid of this. This is a Christmas collection a few years ago. My parents gave it to me for Christmas. Pat McGrath shadows are everything. They're so freaking good. Great quality. Very expensive as well. Love the shades in here. I'm never getting rid of this. Never. I reach for it all the time still. Next, I have the Nubian by Juvia's. Juvia's Place has amazing eyeshadow palettes, and this one is no exception. I love all the warm tones in here. It's such a great palette. Super affordable too. I'm not getting rid of this because this is only a few years old in my collection, and it's very well loved by me. Same goes for my Warrior palette. Of course, I'm keeping this. It's, I love it. It's just a neutral dream, okay? 3 mattes, and then you can play it up with all these other colors. I love this. Great quality, great price. Could never get rid of this because it's so, so good. Then I have this super old Faced Stardust by Vegas Nay palette. What even is this? I think I used this like once or twice when I got it, and then never again. Like, what is this color wave over here? I don't know. I don't understand. It's very, 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 very old. Never reached for this. Never even reached for this when I bought it, so it's a no-brainer. It's leaving the collection and straight to the trash because it's too old. Last but not least, I have the love of my life, my Natasha Denona Biba palette. I am never getting rid of this, okay? This was expensive. It's full of all of the colors I could ever want. If I could only keep one palette in my entire collection, you best believe it would be this one. 100%. It's the best neutral eyeshadow palette I own. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. These are all the palettes that I'm getting rid of. Epic fail, because I'm keeping so many, but I just love neutral palettes with my life. Oh, and I couldn't bring myself to part ways with more. I wish I had, because I need to make some space. Like, I definitely don't use all the ones I'm keeping, but this is hard. Okay, this is hard for me, and I am glad that I at least decluttered 5. Okay, now moving on to my colorful palettes. I'm starting off with another Juvia's Place palette. This is the Magic Mini by Juvia's. I don't use this nearly enough, but I love the colors in here. They're beautiful, beautiful colors, and this is still fairly new in my collection, so I'm gonna keep it. The quality is just unmatched, so this one's staying, and so it begins. Next, I have another Sleek Eye Divine palette. Look at how pretty it is, though. It is gorgeous. Pastels, they're super in right now, but I don't really reach for these ever. Like, I haven't reached for these in years. They're very old, and even though I like the colors, I think I have like similar dupes in my collection, so this one's leaving. Then I have the famous Urban Decay Electric palette. This has been discontinued, and I love it a lot. Like this neon shade or this one, they're gorgeous. I'm not getting rid of this because, again, I can't find it anywhere anymore, and I still really like it. Love the colors, so this is staying in my collection. Of course it is. Same goes to my Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of palette. I mean, hello. I just got this like 2 months ago. I'm not getting rid of it. It's beautiful. I mean, it's Lizzie McGuire. It's a collector's item, and the colors are amazing. So yeah, I'm keeping this. And then I have a few like palettes with miscellaneous shadows with all my single shadows in here, and there's a mix of neutral and colorful shadows. I never reach for these. I used to all the time. Like, these were all my go-to neutrals. Not anymore though, but I am entirely too lazy to go through all of these and choose the ones that I want to keep and the ones that I want to get rid of. So they're all staying in my collection because I'm pretty lazy. All of these are great, so this is staying. This Z palette is a little bit more miscellaneous. I have used these Inglot shadows and this white one for like Halloween makeup or, you know, more editorial makeup in the past. So I kind of keep this separate from my kit because I don't use it all the time. So what I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to be getting rid of all of these because I literally never reach for them ever. And I'm just keeping the Inglot ones in here. I think that would be better. Up next, I have the Urban Decay Vice LTD Reloaded. This is a throwback, I know. I love the colors in here. Like, oh, look at those greens. Realistically, this is too old to be using, and also I just don't reach for this ever in my life, so it needs to go, right? Even though it pains me because this was limited edition, it's going. Over here I have another Pat McGrath Mothership Subversive La Vie en Rose palette. It is beautiful. I don't reach for this all the time, obviously, because the colors are very out there and bold, but I love it. And it's Pat McGrath. I can't get rid of Pat McGrath eyeshadows. Like, that would be a crime. I am keeping this, even though I don't use it all the time. Another Morphe palette. This is the 12P. This is a very rainbowy, very messy palette. I used to use this all the time. I think I even used it last year for my Pride look. I did a Pride look with this because it has all the colors in the rainbow. The quality of these eyeshadows is not great. They're all like very chalky. They don't blend out amazing. Like, they've been useful, but I just cannot justify this because I don't really use it ever, and I'm keeping some other palettes that have colors in them, so this one has to go. And then I have the Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm Morphe palette. This is very pretty. Like, the quality of these eyeshadows is amazing. I love the shades in this. I love them so much, but do I ever reach for this? No. And I feel like I already have a lot of these shades as dupes in other palettes, so I need to get rid of this. And then the other Morphe x Jaclyn Hill palette I have is Armed and Gorgeous, and I am keeping this one because this green and this yellow are mwah, beautiful. I reach for this a little more than I do the other Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I feel like these color wave is a little more unique, and I'm keeping this. Yes, I am. Then I have a few ColourPop palettes. This is the Golden State of Mind shadow palette, and this is literally a glitter palette. I don't know why I bought this, to be honest with you, and I never reach for it, but I feel like it's very unique. I don't reach for this nearly enough, but I feel like it could be a great complement to the rest of my collection. Like, I don't have anything like this in my collection, and I think that's why I'm going to keep it. Oh boy. And then I also have this other ColourPop palette in X's and O's. It is so freaking pretty. I love the colors, but I don't know if I should keep it because I never use it, ever. I need to use it. Okay, I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna use it. And if I don't use it, I'm gonna declutter it, but for now I'm gonna keep it because I'm a hoarder. This is the Jaclyn Hill palette, the big one from Morphe, and I really like this a lot. I love that we have a few colors here, but I love that there's a lot of neutrals, there's some warm tones, a few cool tones in there. This is a great palette, and the shadows are great quality, and I still reach for this quite a bit, actually. And I love it, and I'm keeping it, for sure. And then last but not least, I have the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca palette. This was very limited edition years ago. But look at it. It's kind of like supposed to be a vinyl. I love it so much. I am obsessed with the colors. Lately, I've been loving colors, and this just has all the colors that I could need. So I'm keeping this because I obviously cannot purchase it ever again. So I really want to cherish it. I'm keeping it, even though I shouldn't, but I'm keeping it. I thought I was gonna do better when it came to colorful eye palettes, but lo and behold, no, I did not. This isn't nearly enough either. Like, I am very torn. But yeah, these are the ones that I'm decluttering. You know, it's at least 4. And this is the final declutter pile. I'm definitely disappointed. I thought it was gonna be more, as I've previously mentioned, but it's fine. I have a very big attachment to my palettes, even though I rarely even use them because they're kind of the first makeup item that I ever loved. So it's fine. For the first go, this is good enough. It's gonna clear some space in my collection, I'm sure of that. And these are all the palettes that I'm keeping. Definitely way too many, but that's fine. We've already been through this. We're okay with it. And I really love these. I love my collection. Some of these I don't even use anymore, but I just, you know, I'm attached to them. I collect makeup. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. So it's a lot of palettes, but hey, you know, at least I was able to declutter a few. So that's a win in my book. These are all my babies. Me and my new hair were not prepared for this. I'm disappointed in myself, I'm not gonna lie to you. This was very hard, but yeah, that is it. Palettes have been decluttered, even though there were only a few palettes that were decluttered, but I'm happy. It wasn't the success I wanted it to be, but it's fine, we're gonna get through it, okay? We're gonna get through it. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, it helps me out a lot, and if you're a fan of declutter videos, or if you're into super easy and real makeup and beauty content, then make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of my YouTube family. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you had more fun than I did filming this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on this video and watching it through to the end. I love you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, everybody. Mwah.